Good morning, everyone. Today's scripture reading is coming out of the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 2. That reads, "And walk in love, as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us, a fragrant offering and sacrifice to God." I love how Paul uses Christ as a reference point for us, that when we are to walk in love, walk in the type of love that Christ displayed, that selfless love. As he made reference, Christ loved us and gave himself up for us. And so that selfless love, that he was willing to go to the cross on our behalf, not for his own sins, because he was sinless, but for the sins of his children, for the sins of you and I. He offered his life. And it says that he offered his life as a fragrant offering and sacrifice to God. So what he did for us was he not only reconciled us to God, he paid our sin debt, but it was his offering that was a sacrifice to God. And that's how we have to look at the things that we do in the name of God, and the things that we do to honor God, that they're sacrifices to God. So our act of kindness, the love that we display towards a complete stranger, or a family member, a loved one, or even someone that's just undeserving. And that was us. When Christ offered his life on our behalf, we were undeserving. Yet he didn't want nothing back, nothing in return. And that's the type of selfless love that we are to display in our own life. So when you think about it, we don't look for any kind of return, any kind of accolades, any kind of acknowledgement. It's just simple kindness, and that's something that we definitely have to, whether we have it or we cultivate it or nurture it, but it's something that how we relate to our fellow man is through acts of kindness, empathy, love, even when people don't deserve it. That's the same thing we have to always remind ourselves, is that Christ's love is a perfect example of how we were undeserving, and yet he still chose the cross in order to reconcile us. So that type of love that he displayed is the same type of love that I am to walk in. And so sometimes, we encounter difficult people, whether at work or family members, or people that we come across on a daily basis. Well, it's love that's going to conquer. Like it says, love overcomes all evil. And so we got to make it a point to allow our life to just be characterized by love, irregardless of how people respond to it. Just know that your acts of kindness are a sacrifice to God, and so you're doing it to honor God. And so in that, it becomes a fragrant offering, and in doing so, we're walking in the footsteps of Christ. So the scripture is Ephesians chapter 5, verse 2. "And walk in love, as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us, a fragrant offering and sacrifice to God." God bless.